Have you ever sat down at the piano to make beautiful music, but you just didn't know where to start? Or maybe you were inspired by something like I was the other day with a storm rolling in through my backyard. I heard the wind chimes and I opened the door and I could feel the breeze and the rain starting to come down. And I thought, you know what? I want to sit down and make beautiful music that goes along with this. But what if you didn't know how to do that? I'm here to show you a very easy way to do something like that. And by the end of this video, you'll be playing an absolutely haunting and beautiful chord progression with 2 chords. You'll sit down, make beautiful music, and anyone can do this. And if you stay to the end of this video, I'll show you an extra tip that will give you even more color to your improvisation. So let's get started. So today we're going to be making a video that's a little bit different than some of the other ones that I do, because this was just something that was inspiring to me as I was sitting in my yard watching a storm roll in, and I heard the wind chimes in the background and they were making such a beautiful musical tone. And I thought, what if I were to take those wind chime ideas and put it into an improvisation? But I want to make it easy enough so that anybody can do it. So I decided to do a minor key because a storm rolling in seems to be the minor key. And one of my favorite minor keys is the key of E minor. So today we're going to be playing between the key of E and E on the piano, and it only has one sharp or one black note, which is this note. So instead of playing the F, we're going to play the F sharp instead. So if we were to do the scale, we start on E, hit the F sharp, and all the rest of them are white notes. And then we come back down, hit the F sharp, and there we go. And you can practice that with both hands if you want to, just kind of get in the mode. But here's the cool part, that our left hand is not going to be doing much. In fact, we only have 2 things that we're going to be doing in the left hand. We're going to make an octave between E and E. So this is representative of the 1 chord, which would be the E, G, and B together. That's an E minor. So to represent that, we're just going to do an E to E octave. Now, if you're feeling really adventurous and you want to put down one more note, you could put down that B and put that in there as well. And sometimes I'll do that, but really that's it. So there's different ways you can do this. You can play 1 note at a time, where you start the bottom E and do the top E and just kind of go between the 2. And I just want you to try that. You can play them together, or you can play together and then take your thumb and tap the top E. You could do it that way. And so any of those choices are great. There's only one more thing that we're going to do, or one more chord that we're going to represent in here, and this is a C to C. So if we count up in the key of E minor and we get up to a C, what number is that? We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is a 6 chord. It's representative of a major 6, which is actually a C, E, and G. So this is a C major chord. And you have 2 ways of doing this as well. We can do a C to C, or we can do a C to C with a G in the middle. Either way. Now I want you to get used to playing in different octaves. So as this piece went along and I was just sort of playing, it got kind of big in the middle of it, because to me it felt like the storm was starting. It was starting to rage, and to me that sounds bigger. So instead of being right here, I took this down to this octave. And if you're really feeling adventurous, you could even go 1 more octave, which I can barely even do on the screen. But that to me also represents the wind and the rain. So we're going from the E to the C in any of the octaves that you feel like. We've got the left hand already. In the right hand, it is just as simple. So in our right hand, we're going to represent those 2 chords only. So let's look at the triad form, or just the easy version of what will happen in the right hand. We can do an E, G, and B, which is an E minor chord, or we can do a C, E, and G. And then we can also represent those in a number of ways. So one way to represent them is with an octave also. So the first thing that I want us to do is just to go between an E octave and a C octave. And in the right hand side, I'm going to do the triad, and then I'm going to do the octave. And we're going to also try to switch octaves for this as well. because sometimes it's good to play up high, sometimes it's good to play in the middle. So it'll sound like this for our beginning exercise. And then go to C, and then switch it around. So you can also arpeggiate your chords over here where you're playing individual notes, and try that as well. So now let's combine all that. And already it sounds beautiful, like a little musical pattern. So once you get comfortable with all the different things that you can do in the right hand, we're going to add just a couple more things in the right hand, and that's it. Okay, so how's it going? Let me know in the comments below how it is playing with only 2 chords. Honestly, I didn't think that it would make a huge difference to only be able to play with 2 chords, but really, it's absolutely gorgeous. If this video is already jiving with you, if you're learning something, do me a favor, hit that like button. It helps other people just like you find my video. Now let's get back to it. I'm going to show you an extra step that's going to make this even more beautiful. I want to employ something called a chromatic scale. The chromatic scale simply means that you are using all of the notes in order by half steps. So if you go from one note directly to the next note next to it, whether it's this way, which would be here, or this way to the right, higher, those are called half steps. And if you do every single note in order, you're going up by half steps like that. And if you're going down, you're doing down by half steps. Now I just do this a couple of times in the right hand because I think this gives the melody a little bit of color. So when we do half steps in the right hand using this chromatic scale, I want you to think of your number 3 finger or your middle finger as the one that's going to be playing the notes that are black. And this is what's going to help you. So a true chromatic scale, if we start on E, we're going 1, 2, 3. We're tucking under with our thumb. And then also 3 is going to go to the next one, tuck under with the thumb. 3 goes to the next one and tuck under with the thumb. And we just continue on like that throughout all of the notes of the scale. Now, you don't have to really know how to play a chromatic scale, but it's a fun thing to practice because with that fingering in your right hand side, you can go really, really fast with it as well. And in the same way all the way down. That's a good thing to practice just so that you are familiar with it, but if it's too much for you, don't worry about it. The only chromatic note that we're going to use today is this G sharp. So in the key of E minor, you know we already have this F sharp, but today what we're going to do is we're going to also use the G sharp. And this is only going to be used for color every once in a while. So if you find yourself, let's say you're up here, you've just played an E and you're going to travel down, you're going to play a C, then you can travel like this to get to the E. So this is just something that you can use for color if you would like to. When you try to practice this, I just want you to go really slow and I want you to hear the beautiful harmony in this whole thing by going slowly. Let's think about what nature does. When a storm is rolling in, it doesn't just usually automatically, boom, hit the thunder. Sometimes it does. Sometimes just randomly there will be thunder. But think of all the precursors that come before the thunder. The wind picks up. It drops in temperature. There may be a few raindrops here and there, and the world gets darker. And all of those things are precursors to the big, loud thunder boom. So when we begin our song, I want to begin the same way, where we're starting really easy and soft. So it can be something as simple as doing this and sitting there for a few seconds before you move on to something else. And then you could try that chord again. Just a few more notes. And it's really kind of nebulous as far as what we're doing for timing. It is in 4/4, but we're kind of doing rubato, which means that we're not really playing 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 every time, especially at the beginning. then you're going to gradually pick up, and eventually there's going to be this climax where we then hit larger notes in the middle, maybe get a little faster. And then we're going to kind of slow down at the end. So I want you to start thinking of the way that you do music as kind of a storm, like you're building into it. There's a big part in the middle, and then it kind of dies down. And whatever you come up with then is going to sound great because you're thinking about how music is formed, not just the notes that are on the piano. Now, if you want some more tips on how to play in the key of E minor, if you want to go beyond these two chords, I would recommend checking out this video or any of the videos in this series in the key of E minor. And you'll be able to play around in this beautiful key. It's a haunting key, and anything you play in here is going to sound great, really, because it's so beautiful. So give it a try. And right now, we're just going to take time to play around a little bit and see what happens as I create this storm that I witnessed in my backyard. Let me know in the comments below how it's going for you. If you used this as your inspiration, awesome. But what inspires you? I would love to know what inspires you to sit down at the piano and make your own beautiful music. If you love the key of E minor, go ahead and check out this video next, and it's going to be a great one to continue on in your musical journey.